we are going to so I was building this project 1 minute. I'll set it up, then we can see what I'm talking about. So so the server has started, and now I will run the front end in another window. Front end is also running. So this is Receptix. It's a front desk AI front desk. So your front desk awake at 3 a.m. and never on hold. So what basically happens is that you have, it's basically a multi-agent orchestration. So you have this supervisor agent, and then there are two sub-agents. One of them is the booking agent and the other one is the knowledge base agent. The system is built on top of LangGraph. LangGraph, it's framework of making agents in Python, basically a sub-module of LangChain. And so the project is right now not complete. I'm engaged with it. I'm building it every day. You can go to my GitHub and you can see the commits that I have made in the last few days. So I'm building it, and fun part is that I have not it's not vibe coded. So it's basically sort of a proud feeling that I have not vibe coded this, if you can relate, of course. Now show you by logging in. So I'm logged in, and this is the user, the business who will basically sign up, they will have this dashboard where they can interact with their agent, and then what they can do is they can publish it from here and then copy this URL and they can send it to their customer, or they can embed it inside of their own website, so that their customers, when they come, they don't have to basically reach out to the support team. They can ask FAQs directly from the website, and so it can basically answer FAQs, and it can book slots, appointments, sort of that stuff. So this is the dashboard. The business, it can basically ingest their documents containing the material from which the agent will answer to the customers, their FAQs and all those sort of things, and they will ingest them over here, and these are the evaluations. So in LangGraph there are nodes basically. My architecture which I have used, it has an orchestrator agent, then it calls another node. This one node, it decides, it basically routes to those sub-agents, and then you go to that sub-agent and it basically does its computing and pushes back its output and into the tool, back to the tool node, and it calls the second agent and again back to the tool call node. And basically once all the agents have completed their jobs, it will return to the orchestrator, and then the orchestrator will decide whether to call those agents again or not. And if it decides that it has to call them again, then it will again basically output structured output. Is basically LLMs, they can output sort of a JSON structured output using libraries. I have used Instructor. People also use Pydantic. I have used it in the past. This time I have used Instructor. So basically that structured output is stored in the state of the LangGraph state, and it will basically, as the agents do the jobs, you can say the JSON, it's sort of the names of those agents, they sort of pop from the state, meaning that they are done. So you kind of emit them from the state, and it keeps on emitting as those agents, they do the job, and in the end you have no agents left, and that means that agents have done their jobs and you go back to the orchestrator. So that's how it's working. So coming back to the evaluations, what this is basically you have this orchestrator. I have created 60 scenarios of for the orchestrator node, whether it calls the correct agents. For example, there's a query, it has to call the booking agent on its basically based on the query, it has to call the booking agent. So we have to check whether it's calling the correct agent or not. So I've designed 60 scenarios. For example, one scenario will be, is it calling the knowledge base agent or not? Is it calling the booking agent or not? What if we don't have to call any other agent? What if the agent the orchestrator has to give an answer on its own and it does not need to call any other agent? So basically this scenario it's about those types of things you can see over here. And this one is about if the query which the user asked is sort of irrelevant, then what will the agent do? How will it counter that? So those were the evaluations. It's only basically evaluating the orchestrator node, not the other nodes. And if the agent it books a slot, then the business can see that which slots have been booked, and basically have to add some more things over here, but currently it's under development. So now if I copy this URL and I go to the wait, there's some sort of error over here. This should not be this. I kind of fixed it, but I don't know why it's doing this. Yeah, so as you can see, basically the side effects of vibe coding the front end. So as you can see, this is the sort of string that each business will get, and they can copy this URL and it will open an interface which will be sent to the customer, and the customer will kind of they will interact with the agent over here, or it can basically I'm thinking of embedding this interface into the users, the business's website. So more on that later sometime. So I can basically unpublish from here, and now if I try to call this agent, it won't work because it's not published. But this is an error that I need to fix, because the business should be able to interact with the agent in the dashboard, but the customer should not be able to interact because it's unpublished. But right now if I ask something, what are your opening hours, and it will say that internal error, URL not published. So kind of need to fix that. And so this is the code, this is all the logic about agents, this is the graph. I need to delete this, don't want to touch it right now because I don't know if so. Anyways, this is the class of the agentic workflow. So all the LLM client, the knowledge base agent, the booking agent, the setup graph, basically the graph, the agent clients, all of this is basically taken into this class as parameters, as arguments, and then it all does its job. This is the orchestrator node, as you can see, and this is the tool call node, where it basically routes to those sub agents. So the tool call over here means agent call. So agent call, if it's knowledge base agent, then it will return the knowledge base agent, and then it will route to the knowledge base agent and it will do its job, and basically it's return its output into the state, and again it will see if there are any other agents needed to be executed, then it will again route to those, and then it will come to the booking agent if it's required on depending on the requirement. So yes, and this is the, you can say, the ingestion pipeline, basically RAG, those who are familiar with it. So this is the retrieval tool which is given to the knowledge base agent, and this is the authentication, the endpoints. These are the services related to Supabase. These are all the database functions which I'm using, but the tools, these are the tools for the booking agent. It can basically fetch room data using these and update room data. I've not given the access of deleting the room data right now, so yes. Now this is the, if I show you the inference endpoint, it will be calling this. So this is not asynchronous, this one is, and you can see this function over here, and if I can show you, yeah, so here it is, and it takes the query of the user. It will take this information about the user, which will be basically its dependency injection over here, as you can see, this one. So this checks if the session exists or not, and if it does not exist, then it will basically not let the user access this API endpoint, and if the session exists, then it will return some tokens. It will return the access token, it will return some information about the user. Let me just show you. So if we go down here, it will basically serialize the user's informations. Let me show you. Yes, so it will return this ID of the user. Basically it's the business ID which I'm storing as, right now it's written over here that it's user ID, but in the database it's basically business ID, and this is the email of the business, and basically some other information, timing of creation, and this is the information about the session, access token, refresh token, token type, expiry time at expiry time of the token, and so this will return serialized user. Wait, I've kind of forgotten my logic. Basically some of this was, as you can see, these doc strings, they are written by these functions were written by AI, but I kind of know what's happening as I've done it before. So yeah, so here's the access token. It will return the information from the serialized user, and it will return the access token. So that's that, and these are some tests, some of which I wrote myself, and others, this front end, all of these tests were written by AI. And so I guess that's that, and let me just show you how it works. We'll publish this from here, and let me ask it. I'll ask it to book a slot from, let's say, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and yeah, so I want you to book a meeting for, basically I have to, right now I have to give it my email, but the email, it should not be given on the user interface, the front end. I think it should be basically kind of does not feel right, so I'll have to fix that. But for the time being, we will just write it over here. Let's create an email for sample@email.com from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. C. So it's booking. Okay, so it has booked the meeting, and I'll also check. Yeah, so as you can see over here, it's sample@email.com, and oh my, took from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. But why? I'm not basically in the testing phase, so I've kind of lost what it would, but I have a way to check what it did, because I have wired up LangSmith to basically check what. So let's see what it did. It says 13 to 15, but it says start 6 p.m. There's some issue here. Let me verify from the database. In 1 o'clock, and so I think there is an issue. And we check one more thing. Check the logs if we can get so yeah, it's returning the correct data, but I think there's some issue in the front end logic, because basically AI cooked it up. So anyways, if you like this video, then do make sure to subscribe and share it with your friends, and if you want to see similar videos in the future, then do comment down below, and let's meet in another video.